All right, we're back on the Sports Wire, WCWP. It is 88.1 FM, and I am Max Caster. That's Jordan Lauterbach behind the beat machine. On the line right now, Terez Owens. The website is terezowens.com. He is the king of all media and in between. Terez, how you doing?
What's going on, guys?
Not too much. It's been a week since we talked to you, and in that week, we've had the decision from LeBron James. That was last Thursday, and I think you had said on your website he was going to Cleveland. You had sources saying that. You also had the reports that he was going back to Miami. What do you think of LeBron going to Miami and what he did to the face of the NBA?
Wasn't he supposed to be Michael, not Scotty? I just don't get it, man. I mean, to me, I guess, but I don't know. I heard Nike didn't like the move also, and there was a big, kind of deal with that. But I don't know, man. I mean, you go to Miami. I guess you're playing with D Wade. I feel like it takes away from the NBA a little bit. If he would have gone to New York, you got him and Stoudemire. Then you get, Chris Paul. You get somebody. It's just like he's big enough to stand on his own 2 feet. He doesn't need Wade. You know what I mean? And I like Wade. I'm a big Wade fan. I'm a big LeBron fan. But it almost looked like he was snuggling up to an older brother or something, and it was just okay for him to do that instead of like, you know what, man, go win one ring in New York and you're a king.
Now, what about the statement from Dan Gilbert, the owner of the Cavaliers, the night that LeBron announced this? He goes off saying that LeBron wasn't a king, he was a punk, he abandoned the city of Cleveland, then he gets fined. How happy were you when he put that out, just so you could get the hits on your site?
Oh, it was great. I mean, our site's been buzzing ever since. Obviously, you can see we used to have Cleveland hating us. Now we have Cleveland on our back. So it's pretty crazy. But, I mean, personally, if I was a Cleveland fan, I like what Dan Gilbert said. Just for the simple fact that look how LeBron did that. And then second of all, like, they treated LeBron pretty damn good over there. They did everything they possibly could. And I understand, there's hard feelings and stuff, but they covered up a lot of stuff. LeBron was the supposed chosen one. And it's just like, at the end of the day, you don't even have the decency yourself to call Dan Gilbert or have your agent call him and tell him that, hey, I'm moving on. You know what I'm saying? Give them the decency of at least a phone call or something. I mean, look what they've done for you. And look what you've done for them, too. But at the same time, it's kind of just like, took a crap on his home city.
What about the idea, though, and this was my point on Monday, because I actually think it comes off as sounding petty in terms of what Dan Gilbert wrote. How about the idea that this is a guy who had 5 years, an organization that had 7, to build a team around LeBron, and they just didn't do it? I mean, what more could they have done? I argue a lot. I mean, when you're stocking them with Anderson Varejao and an old Shaquille O'Neal, and the guy wants to win championships, hey, I disagree with the choice to go to Miami and have the super friends on the super team, but still, I don't think Cleveland has much of a leg to stand on in terms of building around LeBron. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, true. They did try. They tried to get players. They just made a couple bad moves. Antoine Jameson, I mean, how could you not get rid of who was the young guy they had? They could have gotten Amari Stoudemire. You know what I mean? They could have gotten Amari Stoudemire for they could have had Amari Stoudemire for Hickson. I mean, then you get Antoine Jameson. It's almost like, at least like Jordan, you know what I'm saying, and Kobe. They had Phil, they have everyone else, but they know who they wanted. They know who they wanted on their team. LeBron could have gone after anyone he wanted. Look at D Wade, pretty much recruited him on his own. Why couldn't LeBron do that? That's really what it takes these days. These GMs and stuff, they kind of know what they're talking, but they're not on the same level as the players and stuff, It takes a lot nowadays. Like, look at Kobe's out here recruiting to try to get Raja Bell. It's like, that's really what it is. And it's almost like LeBron is just babied and like, oh, it's not me. But you know what, man? If you want someone, make a statement, go out and get them. I mean, that's his team. That was his team. So at the end of the day, yes, you could say the Dan Gilberts, you could say the Danny Ferries, but, I mean, LeBron could get who he wanted. LeBron could say what he wanted around there, and it could happen. You know what I mean?
Talking to Terez Owens from TerezOwens.com here on the Sports Wire. Last thing from me about the LeBron stuff, you had the tweet up on your site from Michael Beasley's father saying that Michael Beasley Jr., the basketball player, was traded away from the Heat to get away from LeBron because he looks like Delonte West. Now, Jordan brought it up before. They needed to trade him for cap space, but if they really wanted to play with Michael Beasley, they could have taken less money. So I'm looking into that and kind of raising an eyebrow, saying, can LeBron even play with somebody who looks vaguely like Delonte West?
I mean, remember I told you last week, I think it was, that I reported that literally his security staff, his people around him, they literally say they have to stop him every morning from wanting to kill Delonte West. And I know that was kind of like, everyone thought it was kind of a funny little post or whatever, but at the end of the day, I mean, LeBron is LeBron, and I mean, we all saw what he did for an hour on ESPN. I would not put it past him.
You know, Dan Gilbert said something the other day that I found curious besides the letter, and he said, we let him get away with a lot of stuff, and that's going to come out more and more. What have you heard, because I know you're in the know, what have you heard about what the Cavs kind of let LeBron get away with that maybe a person like me or Max would raise an eyebrow to use Max's phrase?
I know personally, obviously it's family. A lot of it was covering up a lot of his mom's junk, not necessarily her going out and smashing the homies, but, you know, allegedly there's some drug use going on, you know, with you know, certain family members, and I just know they let him run free reign and hit a lot of stuff, and I know most of it has to do with family, and I think covering up actually like what type of person LeBron is, because he's almost like a passive person. That's why it might work out well over there, because he is not, you know what I mean? He has a Wade now. It's a big brother that can kind of take him under his sleeve, and it just seemed like LeBron, if LeBron would have Kobe's mentality, he would get 70 a game. He just doesn't. He just seems like that passive person. So I just think maybe that, you know, they were hiding that he's the king for so long, but really, I mean, maybe he's not, you know, who knows? I mean, he's 7 years in the league. He doesn't have a ring, you know? I mean, I get it. I hope he gets one here in the future. It'll be good for basketball, but I don't know, man. I still think they're going to have a hard time getting through the Bulls, believe it or not. And that's just in the East. I mean, still to this day, even if they sign Okauskas, the Lakers are too big.
Terez Owens is our guest here on the Sports Wire. Now, jumping off of LeBron real quick, George Steinbrenner passes away yesterday. Rush Limbaugh comes out and he calls him a cracker. He says some weird things about him, saying that he made a lot of black people into millionaires and fired a bunch of white people. I really don't know what Rush Limbaugh was watching, but what did you make of that statement from Rush?
You know, Rush Limbaugh is just an idiot, and I think the Oxycontins are still kind of spewing out his mouth a little bit. I think he just tries to go so far right that he's such like a retard that, you know, he gets these retarded followers, that these racist, I mean, those are purely like racist comments. It's nonsense.
And last one, you had on your site, Alex Rodriguez is set to be in a new movie with Justin Timberlake and the girl from That 70s Show,
Mila Kunis.
What have you heard about that movie, and what is it going to be about, and how is A-Rod going to be portrayed in that one?
Okay, so I don't know too much about the movie. It's called Friends with Benefits. And I did report that Alex would be playing himself, but I actually got more details into that. And supposedly he did so well in his audition that they're going to be giving him a part in the movie where he's not playing himself now. So, I mean, I don't know too much. We'll get some more information as it comes in. But he won't be playing himself. I know that in this movie. So that'll be kind of cool to see.
Good. I'm excited for that. I'm definitely seeing that. It's said to come out in 2011 according to IMDb. So I'm definitely going to check out A-Rod and his acting debut. Terez Owens, thank you so much for joining us.
No problem, man. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Anything else to plug? iPhone app, anything else?
We have our new version of our iPhone app coming out. It's version .101. It's basically, if you already bought the first version, it could be within 5 hours, could be within 5 days. It's going to be up, and you get this one for free. It's going to be a much better version. It's pretty cool. So go to your app store and buy our app.
There he goes. He's big enough to have his own iPhone app. It is Terez Owens. The website is terezowens.com.